I would like to, in my short presentation, give you an overview of the role that the Central EPC Register plays in data collection and the importance it plays in all aspects, both of having EPCs in place, but also for planning, renovation, and for future energy policies. So in the presentation, I'll just give you an overview of the current status in Ireland of certificates, some of the key features, what the views. There are different views on the register, from the administrator to the users, the experts who use the system, the main components, how they interact, and the register itself is quite a lot of very IT intensive, uses a lot of interaction with both internal and external systems. The public view, how members of the public can interact with the register. And also, it's important in the role of quality assurance, as Laurent described earlier, statistically significant. We believe the central register is a very important role to play in all of this. We decided when the energy performance certificates were first introduced in 2007 that we would have a mandatory register which gives us the access to all of the information, so we can measure and monitor all the performance and make the information available in the form of research to people who are interested in the information. So from government who want to form policy to say grant programs, incentives, like we provide the information to for home retrofits, so people can understand what measures should be planned for the future and the impact of current measures. And also how we pay for the system, because no system is free, and so it's important just at least to consider that. Okay, so in Ireland, there are at present for domestic, which are apartments, flats, single-family homes, approximately 400,000 EPCs published at the moment, 800 experts as we see there. And we have a lot of activity in October, about 9,000 certificates published in October. That's an increase from last year. And for non-domestic buildings, all other buildings other than the ones described above, there are 18,000 EPCs, and as we see there, I said there are 570 experts. That's a typo. It should be 170 experts for non-domestic buildings, and there are 850 EPCs published per month in October of this year. Over 20% of buildings in Ireland have EPCs. What's having a strong effect at the moment is the mandatory advertising requirement for EPCs. The inclusion of that information in the advertisements from January of this year is having a strong impact, even though the market, the building market, is slowly starting to resolve itself in Ireland. People use phrases like green shoots and such. It's slowly working, fixing and starting a little bit of activity, but we've seen a strong increase in the number of EPCs, and that brings with it a lot of knowledge about the current building, the quality of the current buildings, because we capture a lot of information about buildings in the EPCs. This is just a brief administrator view. The national administration system is what we refer to and in Ireland, and then building energy rating is the term in Ireland for EPC. So just building energy rating equals EPC. So we gather all of the information about a building. The top line, this is some test data, is we have the certificate number, we have who's the expert who publishes it, we have the certificate, the advisory report, but we have also behind all of this, all of the data that was used in the collection. So the administrator can see all of the information. An expert can only see the information that they work on for the buildings that they provide certificates. The system itself uses a lot of IT. It's available 24/7. There's backup facilities in place. There's failover, so it's available just like you'll be searching. It's used every day of the year by the experts, even on Christmas Day. We have experts that like to publish certificates, and they also try to contact the help desk on Christmas Day too, but it's not open on that day. So we have, at the center, we gather all the information about the experts, which is the candidate system. We also store all certificates, which on the different registers for domestic buildings, non-domestic buildings, and displaying certificates. The domestic experts interact with the system through the homeowner, and there's web services that communicate from the expert to the central register. Also, members of the public can go online to the database, and by typing the certificate number or the electricity meter number, they can return the results of their own certificate. We interact with our finance system, because I mentioned it's important. A system like this costs money. So every time a certificate is published, we collect a fee from the expert for their publication, and so the database interacts with our financing system. So once a month we collect money from bank accounts of the experts. It links into the quality assurance. So, for example, to manage the statistically significant analysis, we can do profiling across the whole of the database and decide on the correct number of samples, how we select particular EPCs for quality assurance and detailed auditing and analysis. It also links into external databases like the provided by the electricity meter provider in Ireland, the ESB Electricity Supply Board, so we can confirm the building address that's stored on that register with the building address entered by the expert. We also link into an external examination system. So when an expert wants to register, they must do an examination. We give them permission to the examination, then we automatically collect the results file electronically every night, and we update their records. So if they pass the exam, they're permitted to continue to operate as an expert. The public view. So for the members of the public, they can search the database just by typing in the EPC number. It's called BER number on screen here, but that's the EPC number, or the MPRN number. And then they get some details, summary details about the house. So they can confirm when they're shown a certificate, they can have confidence certificate is true because they can check the details live from the public register. We also use for quality assurance. Don't worry, the slide is slightly blurred here on purpose because we have some private information on the screen, but it's to give you an idea. We manage and we track the number of audits we do by different type and the results from this system. By having the central register, we can track all of this information. So it's very important. Research. It's fundamental to have information about buildings in order to inform research. So, for example, we have published for the domestic buildings already, and we're working on the non-domestic buildings now. Anybody who's interested in research can access the whole database. We take out some private information like the owner's name and their street address, but they can search all of the other information. So people who want to inform policy, people who want to do academics, manufacturers of various systems can check what buildings in what area of the country need updates, and they can write policies or they can do research in that area. So that's updated every night. The database is updated. So we have 400,000 records available to search right now on the system, and we'll be adding the non-domestic buildings to that shortly. So we make that available to everyone, even our Central Statistics Office, who are very interested in this type of information. It's a revenue neutral model. So it's self-financing. Every time a certificate is published, we charge a fee. For domestic certificates, it's 25 euros. For non-domestic, it's 50 euros per certificate. The revenue is generated for running the scheme, and it's revenue neutral. That's how our legislation was written to bring in this requirement. So we get EPC registration, annual renewal fees, and a levy for each published. We use it for system design and development, the technical methodologies, so the code of practice, all the rules, and the business process, all IT, self-service, so assessors can use the system, experts can use the system all the time. Support and maintenance with the outsourced help desk, the quality assurance, marketing, promotion. The cost of running the scheme is in the order of approximately 2 million euros per year for all of the systems. That includes all marketing, all aspects. The IT systems themselves, approximately 300,000 euros. Development each year is spent, and 300,000 euros in ongoing maintenance and operating the system. And both those figures come out of the 2 million total. And that's a brief overview of what we believe is very important, the central register for EPCs in Ireland.